Well, hello there, AfterBuzzers. You're joining us tonight for a little sex education. It's quite steamy in this studio. We're going to be looking at some masturbation, ejaculation, everything, all of that and more for episodes 1 and 2. Let's get thrust into it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things, all the good things. Yes. Oh, let's talk about sex. Hey, AfterBuzzers, we're in the studio here. Sex education it is, Netflix's new show. We're gonna obviously be looking at some of the cases that have arisen in episodes 1 and 2, focusing on Jean and Otis first, and then going into the relationship dynamic of Otis and Maeve, because they're creating a sex therapy, an underground sex therapy at a school, not even high school as such, it's more like middle school, which is pretty interesting. And then finally we will be channeling into the whole party and what erupted from it. First up, my name is Yasmine Tanres. I am one of your hosts, and I'm joined to my left here by...
I'm Katie Thompson. Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here.
Hey, Katie, and so am I. I'm so excited to talk about sex and sex education. I'm Imani Jackson to begin with.
Thank you. Well, first up, before we jump into our topics, I want to know, what did you think about this show? Because really, I mean, the title says it all. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty amazed that Netflix has picked up on something like this, but I'm not disgusted by it. So I want to know what you think about it.
I just put it on as one of those shows, like, let me put this on while I make my bed. And I figured, like, it'll be whatever. Glued. Like, absolutely glued to it. Was not expecting so much nudity in the first 30 seconds,
Right?
but I'm here for it. You know, whatever. Let's do it. So, yeah.
Right.
What about you?
I was the same way. I got done cooking, and I'm like, okay, so let's scroll through Netflix, see what's new after, the whole Bird Box. So I'm like, let's check this out. And as I'm eating my food, I'm just like, straight into the nudity. Like, okay.
Pasta falling out of your mouth.
Okay.
Like, what? What?
Okay.
So, yes, I mean... I was also very perplexed by the whole introduction. We really did get thrust in there straight up. No shame, no game, like no diddle daddle. We're getting into it, right? Mm-hmm. So ultimately, I mean, I was surprised that it was very British as well. What did you two think about that?
Yeah, it reminded me a bit about Skins and just like,
That's what I was thinking,
up.
yes.
Yeah, so it was very similar. I wasn't necessarily surprised by it. I mean, I was only surprised that it was just so fast. I'm like, wow, okay, I just wanted to eat my pasta and just watch a show. But it was really cool. I think it definitely gives you a realistic view into high school or middle school, when people are getting into sex and people who aren't having sex and, just even learning how to learn your own body. That's a whole thing within itself that people don't seem to talk about. So it's interesting to see that unfold.
Was I the only one who then paused it after like 15 minutes and I was like, okay, now I'm going to talk in a British accent. And I was like, I'm now going to fold the laundry and then I'm going to make some chicken.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So
Very well
fun.
done. I
Thank
love
you.
your British accent.
Thank you so much.
I'm impressed.
Although we'll say washing, not laundry.
Excuse
There
me.
we've got
Sorry,
some
everybody.
terms, which we are going to get into our special segment. Katie here will be presenting us with some British terms you may not know. So we're going to have a bit of an Oxford Dictionary lesson here tonight besides some sex education. And then Imani will be getting into some news and gossip. So first up, the relationship between Jean and Otis, Otis's mom.
Yeah.
We immediately get a first glimpse of their relationship, of how sexually charged and active this lady, hot mama, is compared to her son, who can't even masturbate or bring himself to masturbate.
Right. But we'll fake it.
We'll fake it. We'll set the entire thing
so
up.
awkward.
Well, I feel like because his mom is a sex therapist, he's thinking, okay, well, she's expecting me to be doing this because, like, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be normal.
And then she's questioning him, wondering why. So it's like, okay, I get it.
I loved when he goes down to his mom and one of her partners from the night before was still there. And he was like, Mom, I can't masturbate and I don't want to talk about it. And then he just walked out and then it pans to the other guy that was there the night before. floor. Like, he's just in there talking about it, and like, oh, I loved it so
That
much.
I
was
should go. Was
brilliant.
that the same one
Yeah.
who's like, I should just leave? Right
Yes,
now? She's
yes,
like,
the same thing.
you should. I love the
Third
mom.
person that
I
was
love
like,
her.
I gotta go.
I need to leave. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, so you've basically, Katie, you've said that you think this is the reason why he's not actually masturbating.
Yeah.
Do you think there might be another reason why, Imani?
I would think that, I don't know, for me, if your mother is just so much into sex, like, he's just the complete opposite. I mean, you would think that maybe he would be just as sexually charged, because I would love to have that. Like, if I was in high school, like, Mom, I'm ready to give blowjobs. Where should I start?
Right.
Like, I would love to come to my mom. Maybe that is such an awkward thing, but, like, wouldn't you want to learn from a pro? I don't know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
But
but
see-
it's awkward. Your mom is super into sex.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Also, when he was trying to masturbate, you could hear his mom having sex in the background. Now,
Yeah.
that would hinder my time. So, I don't know how well that's going to work out.
We saw the issue of him trying to masturbate,
Yeah.
and he couldn't do it in the end because he was hearing his mother in the background.
Yeah.
And so that was the whole, like, to me it just seemed like, because she's so sexually charged and active, and he's just hearing all of this, and his mother obviously being a sex therapist, he's got to, like, you know, you want to, it's a thing of, like, you don't want to be like your parents, but then you become like your parents.
Right.
Which we see then as the transition goes on, which we're going to get into the development between Maeve and Otis, their collaboration there, of him then becoming ultimately the sex therapist of the school.
Yeah.
Which is another interesting thing we'll get into right after our live read. We have this moment in which we have Jean's gotta lover
Yeah.
walking in on Otis that has this whole, like, masturbation set up there. And then he highlights, do you have an Oedipus complex?
Right. Oh, my gosh.
That was a brilliant moment on his part to bring up. But then she gives us very, ultimately, it is a sex education show, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she gives this whole breakdown of, okay, well, you shouldn't be demeaning a man's sexual desire for somebody older. Do you think that's a reflection for her own justification, or did you really learn something about that?
no, I think she was really just, you know, informing him on, like, well, this is something that happens. It's kind of normal. Even it honestly, it reminded me, in lieu of all this R. Kelly talk, there was an interview, not that it's funny, but there was an interview where R. Kelly mentions he was in love with his mother. And I'm just like, wow. He's like, yes, my mother, she would drink her coffee and she would have her lipstick and I would sit from the same side. Oh. And it's just like, okay, it's very creepy. But I like that moment that she was able to shed light on something that actually happens.
Do you think maybe he was just doing it, though, to mess with the guy that was in the kitchen?
Definitely.
Like, I'm
For
pretty
sure.
sure he
100%,
even
yeah.
got him to say, Mom. Like, oh, I need to go back to Mom. I mean, and I was just like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, this is incredible.
I also feel, though, now that we're talking about it, that perhaps he was kind of helping his mom out to get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knows her game. She's
Yeah.
not looking for any commitment whatsoever. And this was a yes woman that I had for her when she turned down the guy that comes with the flowers.
Yes.
Bless him.
I
Very
know,
sweet
bless his
act,
heart.
which is, you know, chivalrous. We want men to do that and feel like they should if they're into somebody. But ultimately, she was like, listen, I have my priorities with my son and my work. What do you think of this moment, though? Is she really just focusing way too much on this? Or is she being selfish in some ways? Or, you know, what do you think of her holding back from a relationship? I really wonder that, because she is ultimately a sex therapist.
Right.
Very much in tune with the male and female, everything about that.
You want to go?
Yeah, I feel like because I don't know, you go.
Okay.
We're gonna do tag team.
Because honestly, we live in such a world that's just dominated by men, and men do the same thing. The way she's behaving, that's how a lot of men behave.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see a woman who does know so much about sex, who does know sex from the perspective of a man and sex from perspective of a woman and how that all works. So to see her, just enjoying sex.
Yeah.
She's like, this is sex. This is what it is. Now bye.
She also kind of taught me how to like turn a guy down. That speech she gives is great. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression, but this is not. I'm like, oh well, if I ever need that, let me just write
Take
this
some
down
notes.
really quick. Or maybe she's just trying to protect Otis and she doesn't want to bring another guy in because we don't know what's been going on in their past life.
Exactly. So I'm very intrigued to know what goes on there.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we get into our next topic, what's like the ultimate thing that you learned between these two?
Between the mother and
The
son.
mother and her son.
Probably that I don't want my mom to be a sex therapist. Probably that. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, my mom is so open. Not even in terms of like, hey, let's talk about sex with each other, but just like, comments, music, like it's open in my household. But I think the relationship is interesting because she sees that her son is awkward. She should lay off a bit on like the sex talk if he's not, interested in it, but she's still giving him that space and that atmosphere of like, well, when you're ready, I'm here. And I'm not awkward about it, so let's talk about it when you're ready, even though she's still pushy.
Yeah, so I adore her because she does create that safe space, and obviously she's very knowledgeable, but in the end, when we see her go to the party in the second episode, and she's all like worried about him because she can see the change, and it's like interesting to see how a mom as cool as her, who smokes weed with like his friends and whatnot, just as crazy as you can get, then starts to like question, oh my God, he's changing, like what do I do? So it's an interesting facet there.
Is that okay there? Like, you can smoke weed with kids?
I don't think so.
Are you questioning if that's okay in the UK?
Yeah.
Because actually, no.
Oh, it's
It's
not?
not legal there. It's not legal to smoke weed like it is in California.
You're just with the kid, like,
See, we're learning here from two different
we're
countries.
learning.
Yeah, definitely not. There are some hip moms who will do that, but it's not allowed legally.
Wow.
Yeah.
Especially because the kids are 16.
Right, I was going to say, like, I feel like if you're 21, that's one thing, but to be
Well,
16...
we have the 18 law, so
Oh, okay.
you can drink.
All
and,
right.
yeah,
At 18,
smoke
you can
at
drink out
18.
there?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
So everybody starts a bit earlier, so you can see why the sexual acts and nature over there is pretty early. I mean, is it the same over here? 16, is that like when people start to explore, experiment?
I feel like
I've seen people in middle school, so I mean, hey.
It's been all ages, for sure.
Okay, well, we want to get into the development of Otis and Maeve, but before we do that, Imani has a very special message for all of you.
I sure do. So I want to start off with, hey guys, I love talking to you all. But before we move into our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk. But in order for us to grow, we could use your help. So if you're on YouTube right now, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate your support and doing what we love. Don't forget to tell your friends and to keep enjoying our shows.
Thank you, Imani. Yes, please do tune in. Leave any comments or thoughts that you have on this show and follow us on live chat and Twitter.
Yes.
All right, we're going to be jumping into now Maeve and Otis. And first up, because we are being introduced into the school that is very sexually active.
Yeah.
Eric, I love Eric. Okay, so he says everyone has had sex over the summer. And then he's saying, okay, we've got to become learning caterpillars into awesome killer whales. Of course, he's not going to say butterflies. Awesome killer whales. He then calls Maeve a nympho. So let's focus on Maeve here. What do you think about her character?
I love it.
Instantly obsessed. Just, love you, cool girl, need it, love it, yes.
Yeah. For me, I'm like, there are so much slut shaming that goes on, especially when you're in high school. I think as you become adults, everyone's just like, okay, she's grown, she's doing her thing. But in high school, you have people who aren't having as much sex, maybe having a little bit sex on the side, but not as much as other people. And then you judge the other people who are having more sex, and then you're judging people who are not having sex. So it's just a lot of judging going on because people are getting to know themselves. But Maeve, she seems like, I know who I am. I'm enjoying my life. screw you, and we've seen her like flip people off because
Yes.
she's just like, I'm owning it.
I appreciate the way the show represents that aspect as well of slut shaming, as you've said, and like how people talk about other people in school or whatever atmosphere or environment you're in, and it's very judgmental, whereas she's like, I know where I come from and what I do, and she has a lot of hardship, as we see in the second episode, as to why she's so business orientated, trying to make a profit out of everything and anything. Like, she is a hustler. She gets paid for writing people's essays, and then she comes up with a sex therapy
Which we
idea.
think is going to be drugs, and then it's a
And then it's a paper.
underneath,
Yes.
And I was like, oh,
But
nice.
that's what people do in the UK. I know this.
Yeah.
I don't know
Wow.
if people do that here, but they do
I don't
pay
even wanna do
somebody
my
to write
own
their
homework.
I
essay.
was just failing. Yeah, I wasn't paying anybody, sadly.
So another facet of her that I really appreciate is she hooks up with a head boy, Jackson, super cute as well. And he's like, don't tell anybody about this. And she takes that role on just like that. Okay, Jackson, we're just fucking. We don't need to know about each other. I'm sorry. We don't need to know about each other's postcode.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think of this dynamic?
I think here, that's still a dynamic that is an issue in dating, and it's still a thing in high school. And I feel like in high school, though, you do want that, somebody who's going to ask you out and stuff like that. But you're not always going to get it. So she's just like, okay, I'll go with this, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? I'm seeing a lot of similarities between Maeve and Otis's mother. And not in terms of like they're the same person, but I think we were having this discussion in the restroom where I'm like, okay, so I'm making predictions already. Otis and Maeve, they're going to be a thing if Otis isn't like gay or something, but...
Or if Maeve isn't pregnant.
Okay.
I feel like,
we don't know what she's going to do, because I don't want to make too many predictions, but we don't know what's going to go on.
We'll get into those.
Otis is not very judgmental, is what I'm seeing. He's very calm. He's very laid back. But you have men and boys who, they kind of go for women who reminds them of their mother, just someone who has sex with them. But
Oedipus complex.
yeah, something like that.
maybe
but,
he's got it. Oh, no.
Yeah, maybe not entirely.
No,
but
we've got to see how this show
Yeah.
evolves, because we don't want to watch it all. We want to break it down
I don't
by
wanna,
2 episodes.
Right.
So,
I don't want to throw things out there, but I am seeing wow, Maeve and his mother, they have that same this is what it is. Cool.
Yeah.
I could do that. And Otis is more awkward, but they still have those relationships.
I feel like in the first episode, you realize I want these people to be together. Because I was like, I want Maeve and Otis to be together. I was like, well.
But see, it's not always up to the viewer, is it
I
now?
know.
And so it's really just us seeing how Maeve is trying to, let's say, maneuver the situation with Jackson.
Right.
Which,
Yeah.
in the end of the day, he's a little bit thrown off by the fact that she's so easily able to go with what he wants. And I
Right.
think that's
Intriguing.
That's intriguing
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
And so that's another lesson to be learned, I feel. She's very fierce with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really wonder if she is pregnant, because it's she managed to pull him into bed, and then she's just maybe ask me in a week if you want to go on a date, as he asks her out. And then it's almost she's got this game going on where he's okay, I want to get in there somehow, and then hopefully, see, this is my prediction in a sense, hopefully he will, like her so much to the point that if she is pregnant, he'll be there for her, because at this point he wouldn't be there for her. There's not enough time and
relationship
work and stuff that's
Right.
happened between them two.
Exactly why my predictions, he's not involved in her future.
Who, Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so we've got 2 different perspectives here. We want to know what you think.
Let us
If you watch
know.
these 2 episodes, let us know if you think Otis and Maeve are going to end up together, or Maeve and Jackson. So Otis and Maeve, very interesting dynamic there. First up, they're in the it's a sex and relationship
The bathroom?
class.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The class, yeah.
And then he gets very upset because of his mother being displayed all over school videos, and as a sex therapist with this aubergine. But ultimately, they find Adam in the bathroom, who has an issue with Viagra.
Yes. That
Taken
little,
3.
that little blue pill.
Little problem there.
A little bit.
3.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know.
And cleverly, Otis manages to bring him out of this super duper funk. And then Adam is just so proud of himself after Otis chanting, okay, be proud of that dick, and he shows it off in school.
Yeah.
That was a very shocking moment. I mean, what did you think? Did you see that was going to happen?
I didn't see that was going to happen, but it brought back memories for me. And, like, seeing this happen, like, a kid is just like, hey, school, here it is. And I'm like, wow, people do this. It's on TV. Pop culture reflects, real life all the time.
Interesting.
It was a nice breakthrough, though. I was like, yes, go, man, go.
I feel like him in the bathroom is the moment that he becomes relatable. Like,
Yes.
we're like, okay, so we feel for you. Even though you're a bully and you're pushing people into stuff, we relate to you now. Like, we like you a little bit.
But most bullies have insecurities and all of that.
So that's
stuff.
what I appreciated about him, and the fact that Otis and Maeve were there to maneuver and figure this out. It really showcased the issue of, like, performance. So guys suffer a lot of, performance anxiety, and then the fact that he's the son of the headmaster is another added layer of, like, everybody's looking at me, I've got to be a certain character to fulfill that position.
And then plus the fact that Gene got into his head when they were smoking marijuana about maybe you smoke so much that you can't finish, and then he was saying to Otis, like, your mom got in my head and now I'm even having more issues.
Yeah.
So that was interesting too.
What did he call her again? A sex witch.
Yes.
Yes. I
like a
like
sex witch.
that.
He's like, why didn't you tell me your mom was hot?
So this was pretty funny, and ultimately led to the idea of a sex therapy in school.
Yeah.
So I want to get into the cases, because first up it was Adam and Amy, and finally with this breakthrough he managed to ejaculate.
Yes.
Like, he actually managed to let go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think she should have broken up with him, or why did she break up with him?
Well, I mean, he's kind of a jerk, and she's kind of like on the same wave. They're kind of in that same crowd, having that same characteristics, but that was a terrible way. Like, you know that he's been having this problem, and then he has that breakthrough, and you just break him down.
Well, she was also talking like, she was also saying, like, it's all about status, as she said it, and I was like, is she saying status? Like, status? Like, what's going on? Is
that a word that's gonna
I was like, is that a new word that I don't know about? No, that's not one of them. But I was thinking, like, she probably doesn't want to be with a guy who's willing to get onto a table and then pull out his penis in front of the entire school.
Would you not be proud if you're like, that's
that,
my man?
right?
Yeah, but
Go,
like,
boo, go! I'm hitting that.
I don't know.
I'm hitting it.
So here's the thing. That's another good point from both parts. It's like, are you going to be with this person based on how he makes you feel, the chemistry that you feel with this person, or because of the status that they have, or how they're able to represent themselves in front of people? And I feel like there are those two different kinds of people who care so much about what other people think versus who don't care and just are willing to, like, risk it all to be with that person who makes them happy.
I think high school is the biggest place of, like, caring about what people think. So that's going to be one of the factors in her, ending that, or she was just over it.
But what's interesting is that I didn't really see a connection between the two.
Right, other than sex.
Yeah, and not even with sex. There wasn't a connection because he's so much in his head. How is she connecting with him? There's no connection. She's like, do you like? And he's
She's
like,
really trying.
He's like, yeah, they're cool.
I'm waiting on him to be gay.
So yes, because he keeps on having a little moment there with Eric.
With the stick fighting when they're talking, was that foreshadowing? When they're in the bathroom and he's like,
And he's
like,
been
because
bullying him, and they have a connection.
So this is your prediction,
yeah,
Katie.
because I'm
You're
watching this
good.
and I'm like,
You're good.
are you attracted to him?
Well,
Is that what's going on?
That's another thing, part of sex education and being at school exploring, and maybe he doesn't know it yet, so we'll have to find out.
TBD.
So I want to get into the next case of them actually finding their first proper client, Olivia,
Yes.
who had puked over her boyfriend's dick and doesn't know how to really give a proper blowjob without doing that.
Whoops.
Wow.
And in this case, it didn't come into fruition because Otis starts explaining about chinchillas giving blowjobs, which I still cannot wrap my head around.
I get it, though.
Chinchilla.
Why he's doing it. He's trying to make you feel more comfortable while talking about it. And if I were on the other side of the stall, I feel like I would have been like, they do? Really? Chinchilla?
Yeah,
like,
like
tell me
how?
more, Otis. What? Yes.
But that's not going back to her case, so
No,
she's
it's
very
not.
perplexed.
It's
and
not.
runs
Maybe
out.
they throw up. I don't even remember if he finished. Like, do they throw? I don't know.
So what then set it off is at the party. That was Eric,
yeah.
who's like, okay, guys, get a banana and let me show you how it's done. And
Yeah.
everybody at this party starts doing it. But then everybody starts vomiting as well.
Oh my gosh, the vomiting party
It's
is
like
too
a
good.
dead end.
If you were to be thrown up on, would you immediately throw up on somebody else? You think? I don't think I would.
I don't have that kind of gag reflex.
But like, cause I feel like some people just like the smell of it. Like they have to throw up then.
I'd immediately just jump in the shower.
Same.
That's my reaction.
Well, okay, so now that you're asking that, it would be crazy to have a male on this panel, because now I'm wondering, like, well, if a girl threw up on you while giving you a blowjob, like, what do you do?
They're not gonna care. I don't think that. I mean, they'll go to the shower, but I don't think that they're gonna be like. And if they are,
Yeah.
bye.
I think, it depends on the level of the
'Cause
relationship.
I'm just like,
how far they've gotten into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so as that is happening at the party, Sam and Kate is another case that Otis so happens to literally fall into in a bathtub.
this is his calling.
Kate was just there sulking because she doesn't want to be seen naked as she's having sex with her boyfriend, whereas her boyfriend wants the light on. And that's like a very, standard thing that I think when you're first getting into this, into sexual acts, you're like, not so body comfortable.
Yeah.
In your teens, it's an interesting time of your life.
I was so different.
Good for
I
you,
was
girl.
like, I'm ready.
Confident. Okay.
What?
Yes, which is great. Own it. But these guys, this is what basically made the crux of having a sex therapy up and going, because they got together.
Yeah.
His method, what did you think of his method? They were both sitting in the bathtub then. He was questioning them. And then they finally embraced each other because he got her to talk about the things she loves about herself,
Right.
so she could start loving herself. So that was a very good lesson. And then he would start to say some of the things that he loved about her, or the moment that they met, or something. I thought that was very endearing.
So sweet.
I think that's when Otis discovers his formula and also what can work for other people. And that's when it clicks to him, like, maybe this can work. Maybe we don't need to sit in the asbestos bathroom and we can figure out another way to do this. So I don't know.
definitely.
Which kind of felt like a church to me when they were
Yes.
separated. I was like, this feels like you're in confession.
Yeah.
And then ultimately they're leading into, different locations. One is the bathroom with the bathtub. The next one with Olivia. Olivia comes around and is at the swimming team's race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I'm curious to see what the next lesson will be in the next few episodes. But we have a special segment coming up right now, Katie. Why don't you fill us in with some British terms we do not know?
I can do.
I wonder if there are any that I can pick up on, and Imani as well.
So I have quite a few. How many would you like?
Let's say give us your top 10.
Okay.
Okay, wait. This is not fair. Because you might have an advantage.
You came in and I was
Perhaps.
like, her accent. She's
know,
British. What's up?
Losing it there slightly.
Slightly. No, but you said this word that I said that she said earlier. Ugh. Never mind.
Okay.
I digress. I'm not going to
Let
do
me
this
not
to
cheat.
everybody. No. Okay, so what does bulls up mean?
I could tell you what I think it means.
What you think it means?
So, you got this thing. It's kind of like teabagging.
No,
Maybe?
no,
You know,
not
like
quite.
balls up.
Like
No.
up,
balls
like cup them up,
up.
or down, wherever they go. So
don't know.
I don't know.
It's just a messed up situation. That's all it is.
So it's all gone balls up.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
look,
Yeah.
I like how you used it in the sentence.
Yep.
And start
then-
using it. It's all messed up. It's all balls up.
Wazuk.
Wait, what?
Was it?
A wazuk? You're such a wazuk.
Wazuk. Word,
Never heard of that either.
No?
There's some new teenage lingo going on.
Maybe I'm
Wazuk.
butchering the way it's said, though. Maybe that's
Wazuk?
why. But it's an idiot.
It sounds
It's
about
just,
right.
but I didn't
Wazuk?
mean that. You're not an idiot.
Who said was a wazuk?
Oh, they didn't. Not in the show.
okay.
No, these are just these are just terms from like the British that
Okay,
they're
that
using.
they use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it now.
Legless.
Oh, legless. I know this one. Do you
Okay.
know it?
Legless? Is that someone who's like missing a penis? No.
I like where your
Ultimately, yes, I like what you're thinking because ultimately, Adam was called as if he had another leg.
Yes.
However,
He did.
Yes.
being legless is being absolutely drunk.
Yep. Ding 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 ding
Yes.
ding.
So you're like not even
legless.
able to walk. You're legless.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've seen some legless people.
Yes.
I get it.
A lot of British legless people.
Miffed. I'm so miffed.
I think I know what that means.
Oh.
Not that I use it, but I think I know what it
Myth.
means.
It sounds like legless. Like I'm stoned, I'm baked, I'm buzzed, I'm that.
I think it's annoyed.
Oh.
It is upset or offended.
Yeah.
So close enough. I'll
Yeah.
give you that one. So she's winning. I'm so sorry. Not that I'm keeping
Not
score
that I don't
or
have an
anything.
advantage.
Yeah. Knackered. How would
know
you
this
say
one.
that?
Oh my
Knackered?
gosh, she knows it all. I'm just like
Because I
knackered.
use that word.
Oh, you do?
Knackered.
How would you use it? In a
Knackered.
sentence? You just.
I'm feeling so knackered right now.
Tired.
Or shattered.
Yeah.
Tired.
Do you use shattered?
Shattered,
No. Okay, that's
no.
an alternative. Knackered and shattered, tired.
Shattered.
Exhausted.
Shattered sounds like someone hurts my feelings. Like I'm
Yeah.
so shattered. That's what
Shattered me up right now. No, it's super exhausted.
Gobby.
I know what that means. too.
Golby? Is that how you'd
Gobby?
say it?
Gobby.
Oh, just gobby.
Use it in
gobby.
a sentence. You gotta use it in a sentence.
You're being very gobby right now.
Silly, foolish.
It's when you're kind of it's a loudmouth type of person.
Gobby. Oh, okay.
Yep, that's it. Just being a loudmouth.
Like you're being loud. You're being very
Yeah.
gobby right
You're
now.
being gobby. Collywobbles.
Not sure what that one is.
Is that a dance? Do the collie wobble.
Hey.
Do the collie wobble. Oh.
Oh, collywobble.
Do the collie wobble. Collie wobble. What? Collie wobble. Collie wobble.
Imani, yeah.
Gosh.
We've got a new song,
was gonna-
right?
that
In
needs to be
AfterBuzz.
the
AfterBuzz,
segment.
we've got a collywobble song
I
by
don't know what
Imani.
it is, though.
We'll be the backup dancers.
I would say that was dog's bollocks.
Oh,
Wait, say it
because a
again?
collie is a type of dog, right?
Oh no, it just that it means awesome. So I was going off her song that it's dog's bollocks, but collie is also a dog, so it really went full circle there with the puns. So we
There we
didn't
go.
even try.
There you go.
Now
We
they
did
did say
something.
this in the second episode. He says chips, and I was like, chips? What do
Oh.
you like? But he wasn't talking about chips. He was talking about French fries
Yeah, we call
Oh.
them chips.
or crisps. What are crisps?
Crisps are your chips.
Okay.
Okay.
You call them chips,
Crisps
right?
are chips.
And crisp is a chip.
Yeah.
And then a chip is a French fry.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we call them fries as well, but predominantly fish and chips.
And this one was the most shocking for me. Tosh.
Tosh. Okay, it's a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
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 You're talking a lot of tosh right now.
Yeah, like nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
because of Tosh.0, I was like, oh my gosh, that makes sense with that
I
show because of
literally
all of
was
the
thinking
videos.
Tosh,
I know,
but-
I was like, oh, now that's clever.
I
You
just,
did it.
for some reason, I thought Tosh that show, but then I'm like, is that the guy's name?
That's
don't
what I
remember,
thought,
so
but-
I'm not gonna say it.
And then finally, we have Kip.
Kip.
I'm gonna go for a Kip.
Oh, okay, yes.
A
I'm
what?
gonna go for a snooze.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, like that makes
Middle of the day. What's it called?
a nap.
A nap.
Yes.
There we go.
A little siesta.
Jeez.
Yep.
Siesta. Yes.
I need
Okay.
to travel more. Because
Hey, we're learning a
clearly,
lot here. We've got some terms. We've got some sex education.
Look, a lot of
Everything.
learning going on.
And that's British terms you may not have known.
Amazing.
So,
Thank
there
you so
go.
much,
You
Katie.
got it. You got it.
So we're gonna get into our news and gossip section right now, right?
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, guys. So I didn't find too many things. What I am liking about Eric, he's coming out. He's been talking a lot about the intersectionality of being black and gay, especially as a black male. That's like super major. So just big ups to Netflix for even touching on that topic of intersectionality with Eric. But you in sex education have each been seen by more than 40 million households in their initial weeks.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's really amazing. And what Netflix considers as an episode that is watched is if at least one episode has been watched for at least 70% of the way through.
Oh, wow.
So that's really major for sex education.
That's a very,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna ask why, because I think we know why. Like, why are we interested in this? Well, because we're learning quite a lot.
Yeah.
Even back in the teens, I think it still applies throughout life.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of awkward conversations arise that you're like, oh, is this okay? Or, you know, how do I bring this up?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into our predictions right now. What do you think is gonna happen in the
And
next
now,
2 episodes?
your AfterBuzz TV.
Since next week, we're gonna be talking about the next 2 episodes. What do you think will happen within those?
Y'all already know my predictions.
I've already seen the 3rd episode, so I can't predict.
Don't give it away.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I
What might happen in the
haven't.
4th?
I haven't. So, Maeve, she's not keeping the baby if she is pregnant. She's a businesswoman, so I'm just gonna think that she's gonna be like, teen mom, no. And then her and Otis, we're gonna see like their relationship unfold.
I hope they end up together. I do.
Okay.
That I do.
It's gonna take some time. You know how you have like that best friend,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, he's cute a little bit, but like, I don't know if she's gonna be ready to take his virginity.
Oh, that's another one.
Wouldn't she just
Or
like eat him
help
alive?
him.
You know?
Yeah. Or literally
No,
eat him.
she might unleash his freak.
Hey, maybe. Who knows? Maeve. What about you, Katie? What do you think?
I definitely think that the bully. Forgive me for slipping on his name. What's his name?
Adam.
Adam. I do think that he might end up being attracted to men just by the way that he's bullying. I feel like that could maybe be something we see. I'm also interested to see what happens with the strict parents. That because we see him like come home, he's late, he's got to give the phone, he's sneaking girls in and stuff. So I'm interested to see how that like family relationship is going to unfold.
I kind of must say I feel a little bit for Adam, even though he's such a bully, but I think he's internalizing so much because of the family dynamic that he lives in.
100%.
And so, in a weird sense, what I think is going to happen is that him and Jean, Otis's mom, are gonna maybe start something because Otis's mom likes younger men ultimately, and
Wait
he
a
needs
minute.
help.
What?
And then you saw their connection
They
when they
have
were
some
outside.
weird connection
Yeah,
there.
they did.
Yes,
How
and it's,
old
it's
is
gonna
this
get
kid?
messy. It's just gonna get all balls up right here.
Using my terms.
Wait a minute. Wait. You guys are saying the mom and the kid?
This could happen. It happens. And then
Fanning yourself.
yeah, it's getting very steamy in here with our
No,
predictions.
she can't
isn't
do
it?
her son like that. But let's see. Wow.
I mean,
you guys are good.
Otis and Maeve could possibly happen. I do think Maeve is going to keep the baby ultimately because I do think Jackson is going to come around. So I guess we'll have to see. And we'd love to know what you think about this show and what's going to happen next as well. If you haven't binged like some people, you're on our level right now. Well, anyway, so that's it for tonight. Breaking down episode 1 and 2. Next week we'll be back for episodes 3 and 4, 6 p.m. PST. Join us then. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.